This is the Experienced Optimist, and I want to talk about a time back in my past when I was younger where I basically fucked up. There was a time I knew this woman, she was older than me, and she was the career woman. She had her own business, but she had all the attributes that the red pill aware guys talk about. She was narcissistic, materialistic, she lacked empathy, she had the traits of a sociopath in a sense. She had a son who was a teenager. She didn't really care about the son. She had a young kid pretty much being raised by the father because you could tell she wanted more time to herself, to go out and enjoy life the way she wanted. She had hit the wall. She had fake tits, but her tits were sagging. She was delusional. She was that type of woman, and she had like those small dogs that look like teddy bears, a small cute dog. She had one of them, and typical, she treated the dog better than she treated like the people in her life. She had a friend that was just as shady and narcissistic as she was. But this was before the red pill awareness movement happened. But let me tell you where I fucked up. I remember getting into a conversation with her about male-female relationships. And she started telling me about how women really thought about relationships and how they treated men and how they manipulated men. And at the time, I was completely blue pill. I didn't want to hear it. I believed that there were waltz everywhere. That it maybe, even if women did manipulate men, I would find the ones that didn't. And where I messed up was I didn't listen to her, and she was giving me some good game. Let me tell you all the things she told me about women. She told me that women will go out of their way to destroy the men in their lives. I said, that's not true. She countered, she said, every great man has been brought down by a woman. And what she was doing, she was explaining to me how women, because of their selfish nature, they don't care about if they bring other people down, because the world revolves around them. That's what she was explaining to me. And then I hit her with the women's suffrage movement. Women have been raped and oppressed by the men. I mean, I sounded like, gentlemen, I sounded like a complete sucker. She went on to tell me, which I didn't know at the time, that women hate to see men crying. Because at that time, I thought that women were supposed to be more nurturing than men. They were After all, sugar and spice and everything nice. But then she schooled me on the fact that when a man cries in front of a woman, the woman automatically thinks that the man is weak. And she gave me an example. She said her second husband, who was the father of her younger child, came over one time and there was a family emergency. He loved and cared for her, he told her. And something, I can't remember what it was, but it was, I recall that it was something to where he should be crying. And it would be nothing, there was nothing wrong with him crying in that moment. It was, I can't remember what it was. It was something like his mom had cancer or something. It was something pretty bad. And to which she said she looked at him and saw him crying and was repulsed. And the thought that came through her mind was that with this man crying here in front of me, who's going to protect me? She did not even care about what was happening in this man's life. His whole world was falling down, and she didn't care. Now, a lot of men will say, well, that's her, you know. But a lot of women are not like that. Since then, I've traveled, I've aged quite a bit, and I can honestly tell you that from my experience, women do think like this. And the funny thing about it is that when she was explaining how women acted, how they destroy men, how they use men, how they don't really care for the men in their lives, when she was explaining all this to me, at the time I said, there's no way. There's no way. I argue with this lady for probably 35 minutes to an hour. And now that I'm older and I've gone through my life experiences, I've heard the life experiences of other men. I travel to other countries to see other women acting the same way. I can sit here and say with all honesty that she was right. And the funny thing about it is, most women, what she told me, most women would have never told, most women never tell the men that they're around the true nature of women. But this lady, I don't know why she told me, but I guess she didn't care really. She was delusional. She was basically the epitome of what happens when a woman is younger and narcissistic. As they get older, they have cats and dogs, and they become more delusional, more angry, more neurotic. So maybe that's the reason why she told me. But I wanted to share this information with you guys just because I want you guys to be aware of what you're dealing with. There's probably a person right now who's going to be listening. He's probably thinking, well, my girl's not like that. She's not going to turn into a woman that doesn't care about me. Hey, maybe it won't happen to you. but it's more likely that it will happen to you than it won't. I remember there's this guy I used to work with. He got with this Hispanic woman, and she was super nice. She cooked food for him. The game she used was basically pampering him with food and going through his stomach to reach his heart. That old school trick. So he ended up getting with her. He ended up marrying her. And at some point, he learned that she had a kid, a teenager, boy. And she flipped the switch, the crazy switch one day, and she flipped out on him. And he realized that she was abusive to her own son. She would argue with him all the time. My friend, the guy that got with her anyways. And all the times then she would threaten him, well, I'm going to leave you. There's other guys that I can get with. And he had to stop her from abusing her own son. Now, of course, she still cooked and cleaned and did stuff like that. But the cooking and cleaning couldn't make up for her psychosis. Later on, he found out that she was talking to guys behind his back. She had lied about her age. She had went to get plastic surgery back in, I don't know, Peru or Costa Rica, I don't know, one of those places. But in the beginning, she put on a good act. And that's what most men are going to come across. They're going to come across women that put on a good act. But just remember, just like this older woman told me about the truth of female nature. Just remember, if you're in a situation like that, your girl starts flipping out. Remember, you heard it here first. You heard it on other MGTOW channels. And it's time for you to pull the cord and get out of there. Back in the day, I fucked up. I didn't listen to her when she told me the truth about women. And I want to stop you guys from fucking up like I did. I didn't listen to her. I paid the price in a couple of interactions I had with women afterwards. And my goal is to stop you guys from making the same mistake. But anyways, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe, give a thumbs up, leave comments, and I'll talk to you later.